you for coming to That's So Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you coming back. Today we're going to be doing the Sotak patterns, the Chubby Tote. I think I'm saying tote and Sotak. Forgive me, I'm really bad with names sometimes. We're going to be doing the Chubby Tote. I've got some requests to do some really beginner friendly, fun for the summer kind of projects, and I thought, what better project than a simple tote? This tote has endless possibilities. You can work up your skills with it. You start off small by doing exactly what is said on the pattern, and then you can start escalating by adding leather straps, webbing, making a crossbody strap, adding a zipper pocket, making pockets, making it maybe a lunch bag, and adding insulated fleece or insulated foam. The endless possibilities is amazing. This bag that I'm going to be making today, I'm going to actually be using it as a inside my my shelves. I'm going to use it as like a basket that holds 40 weight thread. That's what I'm going to do. I have this beautiful faux fur that I will show you right here. That's faux fur from Sally Tomatoes that I purchased, I want to say roughly a year ago. And I have some leftover waterproof canvas, and I have two straps that I'm going to be using as my strap tab. Now there are instructions in here if you want to be able to use non-webbing and you want to use, let's say, red handles on the outside or whatnot. It'll show you how to do it. There's measurements, and then you just follow that directions. But I'm going to give you a fun, easy tote that you can give to school's going to be ending soon. So maybe a teacher's gift or a principal's gift or a lunch person's gift or a sitter's gift. You never know. Again, endless opportunities. We also have Easter coming. These would be really good Easter baskets. So what you're going to do is you're going to, there's different sizes, and you're going to cut out your small, you're either going to cut out a small, a medium, large, or extra large. From that, when you pick it out, you'll have measurements on what you need to cut: 2 of exterior, 2 of lining, and handles. Now, you don't need to use interfacing on the pieces that are already structured. Like waterproof canvas has structure to it. Wax canvas has structure. This faux fur does. Now, if you want to add foam or fleece to see what it feels like, if it's a softer to the hand, more structure that you want, by all means, go for it. But I like this project because you don't need a lot to start working on it. Then you're going to cut out your coordinating, I said X box, your box. So that way you can now start building this tote together. So we're going to start with getting the exterior. I'm going to put the lining piece and the 2 handles to the side, and we're going to be on page 4, assembling the exterior. We're going to put right sides together. So for me, it's this nice furry side, and this nice smooth side is the exterior back. Wrong side. And then we're just going to place this together. And then I like to pop clips not only on the bottom, but the top, so that things don't adjust. Sometimes things can get shifty, and having clips can kind of ensure that it doesn't move as much. And I'm just putting clips every few places. You could put as many or as few as you possibly want. It all depends on what works for you. So we're going to sew down the side seams and the bottom seams. The side seams are a 1/2 inch, and same with the bottom. So I'm going to be sewing at a 3.5 stitch length because this is a low pile fur. It's a little bit thicker. And I like to back stitch 3 to 4 stitches back, sometimes even off, to just ensure that this is a good stitch. Take your time. Remember to breathe. Because I think sometimes when we're sewing, we just hold our breath. All right. We're going to move it on over to the other side. The bottom. now we're going to go up the other side. Make sure you back stitch at every seam, started and finish. All right, you did it. All right, so then you will go to page 5, and you're going to see that we're going to do some clipping. We're going to open up the tote, and we're going to open up the seams so that they're kind of like butterflied open. And we're going to put a clip there, and I like to put clips along the top, along the sides, so that way we can make sure it's a nice clean. So now we're going to sew it at a 1/2 inch. And sometimes when I get at the side seams, I like to do a quick little back stitch. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. We're going to open up the seam. And I just put a few clips at the top. So that way it can stay nice and flat. 1/2 inch. All right. Okay. Okay, so in this pattern, we're going to sew a second seam, a second row of stitches right close to the first. This is a great teaching method, a great method to have. Sometimes you'll see bags when they turn out, you can see the stitches on the bottom, and it could be because that's a huge stress area. If you sew a second row of stitches right close to the first row of stitching, it will help reduce the stress in that area. So we're just doing this one more time. It's a great thing to, a great practice to, a great sewing technique to do. I do it a lot with my bags, and once you do it, it becomes second nature. And then we're just going to clips. I'm going to trim down this to about a 1/4 of an inch, not trimming into any of the seam allowances, any of the stitches that we just did. This helps us reduce bulk and give you a nice turn, it turns out really nice. This is really going to be cute. Point out those, see, and there's no stitches showing. It's a nice clean turn. And then when also you really take your time and butterfly those open, you will have like a really beautiful where all the seams are matching, and it makes you feel good inside. So we have that. Perfect. We're now going to put on our handles. So I'm going to go grab a chalk pencil. I'm going to squish this down so you can see what I'm doing. I like to first find my centers. So I'm going to find seam to seam, and I just butterfly them open real quickly just to make sure I can match them as accurately as possible. And I'll just give the bag a nice little tug and make sure that it is nice and perfect as I can get. So I make a little V notch so that way I know where my center is. Now we're going to attach handles, and there are measurements for medium and large, and I'm doing the small, and I'm just going to make marks on my fur with this chalk pencil. The great thing about chalk is it wipes off. It usually comes with some kind of brush and it comes right off. It's very rare when it doesn't. If it does, always do a test. You can always do a test swatch, like with the little pieces that you just cut out, to make sure that it does. But I haven't really had any issues with white chalk. Now, different color chalk, yes. Yes, I have. We're going to put these onto the inner of the edge. So we're going to clip to the inside of the white lines that we made. And make sure when you do this, you're going to go straight out and then turn it so that way your handle isn't all twisty. It happens to all of us, and it happens more than we like to share. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the handles towards the inside of the white line, the chalk line that I made. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to take a clip. If I can clip. Then I'm going to make sure it's nice and straight and do it on the inside of this tote. Now we're going to base this on a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Because this bag has no interfacing, it's going to be quite easy to maneuver the bag flat and not having to go from the inside of the bag. And I'm just back stitching. And I'm just going to bring the stitches along to the next side so I don't have to break threads. Trim your threads. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. This is a really fun way to experiment with different fabrics that you haven't used together, different combinations, and you can test to see how well they work. I love the look of the faux fur. It's usually in very much during the fall season and the winter. So whenever it comes on sale, I usually buy it because I like the way it looks in bags. I don't see a lot of bags made with it, or a lot of totes, or a lot of cubbies. So I like to do something a little bit different. All right. Trim. So that is done. Now we're going to work on page 6, and it's going to be the interior. We're going to leave a 4-inch opening at the end of our bag, in the middle of our bag. So what I like to do, again, is find my centers. Finding your centers can always help you with lining up the fabric. It can help you with, it just helps tremendously with measuring the whole 9 yards. So I'm just folding this right onto itself. I'm working on the wrong side of the waterproof canvas, and that's the side that looks a little bit more plasticky. To me, there's really no wrong or right side, but I personally like the area that looks a little bit more woven than the matte plastic. All right, so a 4-inch opening, I'm going to measure 2 inches from each side of from the middle line that we cut the center. And just doing this with chalk. We're going to do the same steps as we did as before, except I'm going to tell you we're going to take in some of the seam allowance. So what I'm saying is that from probably 2 inches down, we're going to do the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then we're going to veer our our bag to 5/8 of an inch, so it could be a nice taut and not a baggy lining. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing down here, except I'm not going to do a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the 5/8 all the way to that white chalk and 5/8 back and forth to the thing. Back stitching really well at the beginning and end here. Start on this side at 5/8 and then veer it to a 1/2 inch, because this will make the lining nice and taut and it won't be saggy or baggy. Nobody likes a baggy lining. You can add as many as clips as you need. We're going to start off at a 1/2 inch. Back stitch a couple stitches. Sometimes I even go off. And I'm just going to veer it to that 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to back stitch. Now I'm going to bring this over and go 5/8 of an inch here, back stitching really well at the beginning and at the end. Back stitching there, and then I'm going to bring my threads over to the next white mark and do 5/8 of an inch there, back stitch. So I didn't stitch between those two white lines. All right. Then I'm going to bring on over to this side. We're going to start at the 5/8 of an inch and finish at the 1/2 inch. So right when we get to the middle of the bag, or when you're getting close, that's when we're going to start veering. It's a gradual thing to that 1/2 inch. There we go. Okay, we're going to trim up those. So I like to trim up the sides to about 1/4 of an inch. It helps reduce the inside being really bulky. I'm not going to touch any of the bottom, because when I turn it inside out, when I birth the bag, I want to be able to have the most accurate seam allowance and not accidentally skimp. So I'm going to trim that. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open up the seams and place some clips. And we're going to just sew this at 5/8 of an inch. Butterflying the seams just make it easier and help reduce bulk. Now you could do a second row of stitching on this, but because it's the lining of the bag, the seams won't be showing as much. So you don't have to, but if you want to do it to practice, I definitely recommend that. Practice makes progression, right? So we're going to open up these seams. And we're going to do the same thing, 5/8 of an inch. I did not hold my threads. And what happens? It comes undone. It's perfectly okay. You can just rethread your machine and you'll be good to go. I'm using 40 weight thread from Saba Thread from Waywack. I think I have like almost every color that they have. I love this thread. It's very strong, and my machine doesn't act, you know, a donkey when I use it. Sometimes when I use Cokes or Clarks or some other kind of thread, my machine is like, it throws a fit like a toddler. All right. So we have our lining. We're going to put right sides together, Because there's no zipper pockets in here, you can put right sides together, whatever you feel fit. They both look the same because there's no pockets or nothing really going on in the exterior. I'm going to open up my seams and clip, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Take the seams and open them up. And clip. So those center V marks, I'm going to find them and clip there too. Tucking those nice handles in. Clip those. And then we're just going to clip all the way around. Okay, so we have all that done. We are now going to finish by we're going to put the right sides out of the exterior, which we had, into the wrong sides being out of the interior. So both, you see that's the wrong sides of the exterior, wrong sides of the interior, the right sides are touching. Now we're going to line everything up, and we're going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we're going to go all the way around. Take your time. You can start from a seam. I usually like to back stitch on a seam, so I usually try to start from one. Move your clips or your pins as you go along. Back stitch a few stitches. I like to back stitch over the handles, just that extra reinforcement. Just try to stop in the needle down position so you can adjust. Keep everything lined up as long as possible. Sometimes things want to shift, that you can put the needle down and readjust. Take your time. Okay. We're going to go through our seat, our hole in our lining, and we're going to birth the bag. This is a smaller hole. You can make it bigger if you wish, but it just, if you have no interfacing, it should go easy. I just do like a slight tug and pull the exterior. Try to get the handles, if you can, out first, because they'll help with the bulk. think both handles are out, and then the lining. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to pop stitches because you're in a rush. Trust me, I do it all the time. It's not the best. And if you're working with waterproof canvas or water resistant canvas and it's being finicky, you can use your blow dryer on warm settings to kind of just like warm it up so it could be birth easily. Or you can put steam onto your ironing board and remove the iron and put the bag on the ironing board, and it should warm it up too. So what I like to do is I like to poke out my corners with my index finger on both sides, because we're going to close up this lining. I like to tug on either side of the opening, and once I tug, I then take the clip and I place one there. I continue to do this like tugging motion so that way I can get it to be nice and lined up as best I possibly can. And now I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch to close this. I'm going to back stitch a couple stitches. This is a great place to put a tag if you've been collecting tags, because it'd be cute. It'll be at the inside of the bag. All right, so I'm going to trim those threads as close as I possibly can. And then I'm going to put the bag lining inside the exterior. This can be a bit of a process, but once you work the bag in, it will all work out. I'm going to roll the lining out. All right, so this is what the bag looks like so far. We're going to do some top stitching. The best way I know how to top stitch on a flatbed machine, if you don't have a free arm on your domestic or you don't have a free arm in industrial, is take your bag and put it inside out. I know it feels like it's tedious, but you'll see how well it works, because you have an opportunity to make sure that no lining's poking through on the exterior, and your top stitching will be really good. So I'm going to pull my threads, hold them, and we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to back stitch. You can increase your stitch length if you need to like a 3.5, 4, or you can keep it the same stitch length. It's really your discretion. And I'm just getting squishy with it. My back's going to get squished, and I'm okay with it. Right when it gets to the handles, it might be a little bit thicker. If you have a hump jumper, this is a perfect time to utilize that. Now, if your bobbin tension and everything is great, you can just top stitch from the inside out, and it should work out just fine. If you don't trust your bobbin like I don't, I just turn my bag inside out. Okay, we're going to trim our threads. Turn this back right sides out. we're just going to remove all the little threads that decided to hang on to the faux fur. Oh, this is cute. This is a really cute bag. So this is a nice size bag, and again, there's no interfacing that's really needed, and it could stand up on its own. I would highly recommend this bag. For my beginners, this bag is perfect because you can learn how to create your own skill set at your own pace and work it out. For people that are intermediate to advanced, how about you could challenge yourself? How about trying using, like, you can use fusible fleece that is for temperature controls for a lunch bag, or foam with that. Trying it with Decaville to see if you can make it really structured. Creating your own recessed zipper off the pattern pieces that were provided in here, or putting in a welt pocket or a zipper pocket or slip pockets inside of here. Adding a keychain hook. There's so many things you can do. Making like side connectors so that this could become a crossbody bag. Making a special slip like this is perfect to try middle row zippers. Like this bag is perfect because you can just keep elevating it. So I wanted to show you this bag, the Chubby Tote from Sotak. And if you have any questions in reference to this bag, please leave them down below. If you would like me to make further Sotak things, put down what bag you would like to see done. I think this is a great bag, and I love the fact that it's literally standing up on its own, and it has not one lick of interfacing in it. That is just, it's crazy. I'm planning on using these totes for inside my cubby, so that way I could put like miscellaneous scraps or leather scraps or threads, my jelly, because I have a place for everything, but I don't have a place for my jelly rolls. I don't have tons of it yet, so this might be a really good thing to put in. And I could put like a little bag tag right here with like a clip or a safety pin, so I know what's in there at all times. I think this is really cute. I love the patterns that are on the website, so I'm going to put the link to where you can purchase this pattern. There's no affiliate link. Look at the designer's pattern. She even has a really cute storage tote. So when you have the opportunity, take a look at it, and I really appreciate you staying around. And if this helped anybody that's a beginner, I'm here for you. So until the next time I see you, I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe and happy sewing. Bye.